Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another IRL tank versus World of Tanks vehicle, and that is what it looks like in real life versus what it looks like in game. And we've got the Cromwell. It's just a typically British fantastic tank. Here it is in the museum in all its glory. And here it is in game. We're looking at the Cromwell B today because, well, I've already format the standard Cromwell, so I thought I'd play the Cromwell B because I've not played that much realistically. And as you can see, this is what the Cromwell B looks like in game as opposed to what obviously it looks like in real life in the museum. And again, you can see it looks just pretty much exactly the same, but ready for war as opposed to, you know, sitting in the museum, right? And the Cromwell B is a fun little tier 6 British premium medium tank. Same as the Cromwell is a hell of a lot of fun to play in the tech tree. You can have an absolute blast with it. This is basically the same as the tech tree Cromwell, except for it has better ground resistances for slightly worse on the move and turret dispersions, pretty much. So it's basically the same tank. The Cromwell Knight, by the way, is a lot different to both this and the standard tech tree. I think it's got way worse accuracy, but way better aim time and better on the move and accuracy. Turret rotation dispersions as well. But we are looking at the Cromwell B because we have some games in the Cromwell B for you coming up. Let's have a look, without further ado, at the statistics of the Cromwell B. Well, the Crommy B, we've got 64 km/h top speed with a 20 km/h reverse speed, 650 horsepower engine for 23.19 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you do shift and you do hit that 64 km/h at top speed. Absolutely no problem whatsoever in the Cromwell B. You've got a 20% internal fire chance, which is on the high end of fire chances, which, yes, you do get set on fire if this thing gets hit in the engine quite a lot. It's something you've got to be very careful of. You've got 830 hit points, which is fairly typical of a tier 6 medium tank. 50 degrees a second hull rotation speed. It is absolutely rapid. It turns very, very quickly, this vehicle. You've got 1.38 soft terrain, 0.55 medium, 0.46 of firm. 281 metres of steel concealment with the build that we have, with 291 metres of moving concealment as well, which is really good as well. It's basically it's only 10 metres off its steel concealment for on the move, which is really good. You've got 461 metres of view range as well, which again is pretty decent for a tier 6 medium tank. Means you can actually spot for yourself quite well in this vehicle. You've got 52 degrees a second turret rotation speed, which is faster than your tracks, so that is nice. That means the turret does overlap when the tracks are turning the opposite way, which is good. You've got 1.83 accuracy during rotation and 3.94 accuracy during movement, which is utterly atrocious. That is really not very good at all. It's not that great at shooting on the move, but RNG is what RNG is, and you'll probably still hit some shots on the move anyway. But the gun bloom is massive on this Cromwell B. The aim circle does bloom out a hell of a lot. You have 15 degrees of elevation, which is quite a lot. You've got 8 degrees of gun depression, which is great for this vehicle. It means you can use the reg line quite well. You've got 2.84 second reload, which is 2,849 DPM, which is fantastic. The DPM on the Cromwells has always been utterly phenomenal, and it's no different for the Cromwell B. You've got a 0.29 accuracy at 100 metres, which is pretty okay, and a 2.12 second aim time with this build, which is, again, pretty okay. Sometimes it feels like it aims in a little bit slowly just because of how big the gun bloom is on this vehicle. It's the reason that I always enjoyed the Cromwell Knight over the Cromwell and the Cromwell B, and that's because your accuracy during movement and rotation was slightly better, but your accuracy at 100 metres was way, way worse, but you had a way better aim time, so it felt like you always aimed in really quickly anyway, and it felt like if you were going to miss, well, I was aimed in, I was ready to go. So yeah, 2.12 seconds aim time can feel like quite a long time sometimes with how big the gun bloom is, but still, it's not the worst aim time in the universe. You've got 145 penetration on the standard AP, 202 penetration on the premium APCR, and 38mm of penetration on the HE, which, again, is pretty much good enough to face, well, to go through everything you're going to face at tier 6, even a lot of the tier 8 you will pen with 202 with the premium, so that's very nice for the Cromwell. You do have 785 metres of shell velocity or metres a second shell velocity on the standard AP, which is very slow, and you've got 981 metres a second shell velocity on the premium APCR, which is, again, not that fast for APCR, but it's a lot better than the standard 785 metres a second shell velocity on that AP round. You do feel the slowness of that AP round, so just bear in mind that if you really do have to give quite a lot of lead at distance for this gun to work, and if you switch to the APCR, that will help you firing at distances a lot more than firing the standard AP. And in terms of bonuses on the Cromwell B, you've got 125% silver bonus with a bit of extra tank XP bonus as well. So let's have a quick look at the modules for you so you can see where they lie in the Cromwell. As you can see, that's where the ammo racks are in the Cromwell. It doesn't get ammo racked that much, but yeah, if you do get shot in the front, you are quite likely to get ammo racked, so be very careful of that. And there's your engine block, typically in the back of the tank. And again, like I say, if anyone shoots you in that back half of the vehicle, you are quite likely to get set on fire. So be, again, very careful of that in the Cromwell. And that's where all the crew sit in the Crommy B. But without further ado, what do I run in terms of equipment? Well, I run the optics, advanced loader, and the camo net. Camo net to knock the camo down on this vehicle because you can play it like that pseudo scout that this thing does like to play like. And you can get the camo down to that 281 meters of still concealment, which is fantastic for a tier 6 medium tank, especially when you're getting tier 5s and 6s that don't have that great a view range. That kind of camo is beautiful. You've got the advanced loader, like I say, to make the DPM better, because the DPM on this tank is fantastic. And the optics to be able to spot for myself and get myself up to that 461 meters of view range. And then in terms of a commander, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Run and Gun, Snapshot, and Steady Aim. These 3 gun perks, because the gun is terribly derpy if you don't help it out, and because you can't run a gun stabilizer at tier 6, you really need all 3 gun perks on this Cromwell B crew, and the Cromwell crew in general, just to make the gun somewhat usable. Camouflage Expertise to make the camo better, and Silent Driving to knock the effect of moving on your camo down by 55%, which is vital for this thing to help it play more like that pseudo scout, especially when you are bottom tier. This thing can scout quite well, so it's nice to have the camo down to that level. And these 5 perks are what you're going to take in every single tank in World War II. So yeah, that's the Cromwell B. Like I said, that if you look at this, the things that are slightly different for this Cromwell B compared to the standard Cromwell is that the accuracy during movement is 1.83 and 3.94, and on the standard Cromwell, it's 1.6 and 3.94, so the accuracy during rotation is better on the standard Cromwell. And you also have 20 more hit points on the standard Cromwell, which is random, but yeah. So that is the Cromwell. That is all the statistics of it. What I'm going to do now is send you over to the replays where you can watch the Cromwell in action and see how it handles, see what kind of fun you can have with it, because it is a very fun Cromwell tank. The Cromwell is very fun. It's just old school. It is what it is. You can have the run and gun time, have a laugh, DPM things, and just keep moving like a lunatic, because that's what the Cromwell likes to do. So, as always, everybody, enjoy the replays. So here we are in the replays with the Cromwell B. And like I say, you can see from the stats that this tank is basically no different from the tech tree. And I was a bit wrong with the Cromwell Knight as well. The Cromwell Knight actually has way better accuracy during rotation than these two do, or this and the standard Cromwell. But the accuracy during movement is actually way worse. But then you do have a 1.72 second aim time with the Cromwell Knight as opposed to the 2.13 or 2.12 that this tank has. Which, yeah, is massively different. And like I say, the base accuracy of the Cromwell Knight is also way worse, but to be honest, you don't feel it as much with the Cromwell Knight because of the fact that it doesn't take too long to get the gun aimed in. Because you can see here, the gun does feel like it takes a little wee bit to get aimed in from when you're coming from stop-start, which can be a bit of a pain. So, yeah. A little bit of a story with these replays, by the way, and why there's 3, is because I decided to play the Cromwell, naturally, for this video, because, you know, show off the difference between the real tank and the real, and the one in modern armour, anyway. And these 3 games, these were the only 3 games I played. And that is because the last game of this video was the very first game I played in the Cromwell B, and I went, oh, that went well, I'll play another game. Had this game, which was the middle game, and then the game you're going to see after this one, the second replay in this whole video, was the very last game I played in this tank. Which, yeah, the games were a little bit mad, but you'll get there, you'll see that. So this first replay is a fairly average game for the Cromwell B, and we are on this map, which is Airfield. And on Airfield, we've so far got 1108 damage with 104 assistance. And we're just playing the Cromwell the way it wants to be, which is flanking and spanking. We've flanked around the enemy team, and we're just trying to keep using this pretty damn good DPM that the Cromwell has to just keep slapping in the rounds. And you can see the camo is pretty nice as well, as these trees kept us concealed as we were firing at stuff like the T-34. And that's where, you know, when you're playing against tier 5s, tier 6s, the Cromwell can be pretty filthy because your camo is fantastic. And at this tier where the view ranges are just generally quite low, it means you can stay unspotted in... We can just stay unspotted for such a long time and then just farm away with what is incredible DPM on this vehicle. The Cromwells have always been fun. Like I said, I always preferred the Cromwell Knight because I felt like with the Cromwell, especially pre-6.0, the Cromwell and the Cromwell B both had the same issue for me. That it felt like I had to sit there and aim, and then I'd fire and I'd miss anyway, and it was really frustrating. Whereas with the Cromwell Knight, I would miss just about as much as I did with the Cromwell and the Cromwell B, because I had, you know, its worst accuracy at 100 meters. But the fact is, I aimed in 1.7 seconds. So it was like, oh, I'm not having to wait around to get the gun aimed in and ready to go. It was like, fire, miss. Oh, okay. And then you were ready to go again really quickly. Whereas there was something, it felt like you were suffering with the standard Cromwell and the Cromwell B. Which is why I always memed around with the standard Cromwell with the Derp gun, because it was more fun for me personally. But the Cromwell has always been a pretty fun tank to play, just because of the way that it plays, the playstyle. That pseudo-scout sort of playstyle that this Cromwell has is always great, because you can play it as that run and gun medium tank, which is fantastic. And then you can also use your fantastic camo to stay unspotted while you go and scout with your pretty decent view range as well. So as you can see, we came back to the base to defend, and we managed to kill the buggy bogger that was in the cap, and we're up to 1,781 damage with 104 assistance. We know where a couple of their tanks are. They're directly in front of me over here. Now, this is obviously a bit of a risky strategy because, well, the Cromwell doesn't really want to go head-on into tanks sometimes. It wants to try and flank and be the tank that's not really being looked at, but keep the DPM and rolling. And we found this M7 who got caught out. We shut him down, and I see the 25 TP, and I'm like, oh, this could be a chance for a cool kill. Let's go. Oh, no, you know what? No, let's just kill it. In midair, there we go. I was thinking maybe I should jump on that guy, but he just sort of backed off at the last second, so I couldn't really do it. And thus we got the kill in midair on the RBRT, which is always great. So we're just looking for a shot at the Skoda T25, who was looking for shots at us, and we couldn't quite get it. He pulled back on top. So you know what? We're going to flank round the back of the Skoda T25 so we can try and get some shots up behind him, or possibly get after this artillery, because the Hummel gets shut down by the Rampanzer, and I'm looking at the Griller going, I don't think I'm going to get near the Griller because the Rampanzer is currently firing at him, and sadly, yeah, we don't get anywhere near the Griller as the Panzer 5.4 finishes him off, but we did finish the game with a decent total for the Cromwell B there. We finished with the epic victory. 3 kills, 2.2k damage, 147 assistance. The second class, the high caliber, for 1,383 base XP. Again, it's just a fairly average game for a Cromwell, really, that. But then we're on to the second replay, and like I say, this is the very last game of the 3 that I actually played. But it's a little bit more drama in the next one, which is why I've changed them around. But yeah, so I played this last. That game that you just saw was right in the middle of the 3 games that I played, and now we're on to Sand River. Sand River, a map that I truly love. I love playing Sand River. I've always enjoyed playing it. It's just a map that I see and go, yes, Sand River. You know, I've always liked it. Naturally, it depends on how your team plays it sometimes, because sometimes they can play it really dodgily, and then there's not much you can do in certain situations. But because of all the positions that you can take, there's plenty of positions to go get free shots. There's plenty of positions to use your concealment. There's plenty of positions. Well, there's just plenty of scope for mobile tanks like a Cromwell to have an absolute blast. And when you get in a situation like this, it's glorious. That poor G-Row. We spotted him, and, well, that was a poor shot, but we finished him off. There we go. Because their V-Rangers on these tanks is not that great, and I have such good camo, I can work them over with this fantastic DPM. You're seeing it, the farm from the get-go. 2 kills, 1,300 damage. That's why I love this position that we're in currently in the Cromwell. It is a great position for those kinds of shots, because you can catch people out early doors and then get some free shots into them, especially if you're in a tank that's fairly stealthy. But they do have to cross that area where the Churchill and the M4A2E4 and the G-Row went as well, which they don't always do, especially in higher tiers. They don't always do that. They go around the back of that, down the 0 line, up the K line, right? But if people do make that mistake, you can farm them. As you see, we've just got 3 kills out of the blue there. So we're at 2.1k damage in less than 2 minutes in our little tier 6 tank. I tell you, it farms. There's the T1. Hello, Mr. T1 Heavy. If you're just going to do that, we're going to farm you up with the Cromwell. Again, Cromwell is taking that every day. We're up to 4 kills with 2.4k damage. Then we see the heavy tank number 6. It's like, hello, Mr. Heavy Tank number 6. You're spotted in a position that I can actually shoot. Okay. Again, you've seen how good the DPM is. We fire at this heavy tank number 6 blind. We pen it. Get another one in. He is still there. So we're going to keep firing until those damage ribbons don't pop up anymore. And we're still penning this. He is still there. We've killed the heavy tank number 6. He just sat there and took the punishment. Like, okay, dude. Thank you for the kill. We're up to 5 kills. Less than 3 minutes. We break the engine of the Nashorn, because naturally if you shoot a Nashorn centre mass where the tracks are, you will break the engine of a Nashorn. It always happens. You always break that poor guy's engine shooting it dead centre. And that's why we sort of aimed for it when I did it, because I thought I knew that if I sort of shot it in that area, I might break its engine, and therefore he might be sat around for a bit longer. It's like tracking someone, right? You know, if you break their engine, you're just going to be able to farm them for a bit more. But we tried to get the kill there on the T-34-88. We couldn't quite get it. Couldn't secure the top gun, which was a little bit sad. But we're just going to move on and keep going to see where the next set of shots are. We can't quite see the Firefly VC. And the Nashorn just got shut down. So we're not going to get any more shots onto the Nashorn. So it's time to move after the VC. I think, you know what? If I spot this Firefly VC, the guys on the K-line should be able to quite easily farm him. So he's not going to be able to YOLO me that easily with all of his hit points. Then we find the Su-85 by pure chance. Get one shot in that tracks him. Oh, can't quite secure a kill on it, though. And the Firefly VC is coming down. I'm like, sir, you are going to die for this. There is no hope for your tank. And there you go. He got one shot into us, and we got quite a few shots into him as he gets shut down by the Hellcat 105. We've been on the edge of a Top Gun for this whole game. I just want me Top Gun. Where's me Top Gun? You know, I want Tom Cruise to walk in and be like, we're at Top Gun now. There we go. So, P43, hello, sir. I see you as my chance for a Top Gun. I think this is the chance to get that cool kill. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, I missed. Well, that's awkward. Can't get the gun elevation to secure the Top Gun. Oh, my lord. And I think, you know what, at this point, screw it. I've had a laugh. We've had a meme. We tried it. We failed. Let's just get the Calliope. He managed to take a hit before we get the shot in. Thank you, Hellcat 105. And we've secured the Top Gun. We finished with the epic victory. The 6 kills. The 4,986 damage in a tier 6 medium. The 551 assistance. Ace tanker, sniper, Top Gun, high caliber. 2,604 base XP. A fantastic game for a tier 6 medium. Fantastic game for a Cromwell. And even in the midst of that, we got the opportunity to have that really cool dive-on kill on the P43, and we failed. Because I suck, alright? Just leave me be. But yeah, we're on to the third and final replay. We're against tier 7s. And this was the very first game I played in the Cromwell. But actually, this was the very first game I played after Tankfest. I got home, went, you know what? Well, in fact, this was the Monday, because I was knackered when I got home. On the day of the day I got back from Tankfest. But this was the very first game I played in general after Tankfest on the Monday. And I was like, right, okay, you know what? I've got this idea for these videos. Let's play for the Cromwell. Let's go play a Cromwell B. And this is what we got. We got Nebelberg, which, great map for a Cromwell. Big open spaces, lots of good areas to use your concealment, lots of areas to go get hulled down and limit the amount of tank that people can see. Lots of flanking opportunities. Perfect. So we've pushed aggressively straight for K0. But, rather than go sit at K0, we haven't spotted anything. Nothing is spotted sitting at G7. Nothing was spotted on this little ridge here. Nothing was spotted going for K0. And it's usually the case that somebody is going for one of those positions. So it was like, okay, there's nothing here. Let's just go aggressive. And here we've caught out the poor artillery. Hello, Mr. Piggy. I'm here for your bacon. Squeal, Piggy. Squeal. Oh, but we don't get to kill it. There's the other one. Hello, Miss. We found the pig pen. Hello, sir. Let me just farm away. But the M44 does manage to get back behind the ridge. I was hoping to possibly track it. The GW Panthers actually managed to drive back out into the open. Don't mind if I do, Piggy. Squeal, please, for my bacon. Oh, we can't get the bacon, though. We didn't manage to get the kill there on the GW Panther. And so we're going to move up, see if we can find the M44, get rid of it, and as we're moving up, RNGesus takes the wheel and says, hey, I'll let you hit the VK on the move, why not? You know what I was saying about terrible accuracy on the move? Yeah, RNG is still a thing and likes to say, you know what? Have that shot. Do it. Hit that on the move. That's fine. I'll let you have that time. And it can happen that you can actually hit those shots. So we're up to 1,332 damage, and I want to get after the M44, but also into a flank position where I might be able to put some shots in to the AMX 1357. So the artillery is looking at us. I know he was around this corner, but he's currently unspotted, so I think possibly he's run further up on the hill. So, you know what? We're just going to take this opportunity to try and get some shots into this 1357 and try and get rid of this French Tier 7 light tank. And I'm not paying attention to the map right now because we've actually proxy spotted the M44. And it's like, what was that? Oh, hello, Mr. M44. Okay, sir, you tried. Can I get my bacon this time? We set him on fire. Little nudge of a ram. Finish off the M44 there, getting our little Pascucci's medal. And these rounds are going to cost us because we are missing this 1357 a lot. You can see how much of a pain it can be with this shell velocity at 785 on this tank to fire at distance. That one was a bit of lag, but yeah. That was one of that last one was one of those where you pull the trigger and it's like, nothing happened. And then it fires and you go, oh, okay, right. But yeah, we do actually manage to shut down the 1357, but we wasted a lot, and I mean a lot of ammunition firing at that 1357. And, you know, there is chances that you could run out of ammunition in this tank, and that can be quite awkward. So, the Cheeto SP and the IS are spotted in the mid, so we pen one, miss one, and we are in the perfect place to help our team as they push up like those two TDs, and we can get shots towards these guys. The Cheeto is actually running away, so we're just going to keep funneling the shots down range at him. I'm hoping for a fire or an easy pen or something like that. Sadly, one of the blind shots misses as well. And we're just going to keep the flank going. We're going to go change a position yet again, see if we can find the shots at the IS, or see if there's anything else sitting towards the town or like B2, because there's still 7 tanks left. And now we found the IS, and it's like, oh boy, he's looking at me. He knew instantly where I was. That's quite concerning. So we're just not going to sit in the same spot. We're going to make it as difficult as humanly possible for this IS. And there you go. He ends up blind firing towards where we were, and he misses. But we did manage to get a few shots into him. You could see it. The instant I started firing, he's like, he's up there somewhere. I was like, oh no. That is, if you see someone do that, do not stay sat in the same spot, because they will be watching for your shell tracers. They will see the shell tracers and they will blind fire that position, and that means that you will probably die, or at least lose a load of hit points, especially when you're facing something like an IS. That can be quite awkward. So the Minuteman is currently on top of the hill. He is trying to get shots at my heavy tank, but I do have shots at him. So I'm just hoping to be able to shut this guy down, but with 202 pen, can be quite awkward. We really have to hit the upper plate or the machine gun port because of all the random spaced armor all over that Minuteman. We do get the shot into his drive wheel there, because that's another place to pen the Minuteman. If you ever see a Minuteman at tier 7, which is the T29 with lots of spaced armor all over it, you can shoot the front drive wheels. There is a gap for you to shoot those, but you've got to be very, very careful because there is also spaced armor on the upper plate and stuff like that, which can be pretty awkward for any tank to pen, really. So the M6 is caught out in the open. We actually get the tracking shot in, and it's like, Mr. M6, I'm sorry, my DPM is too good for you. And we get rid of that American Tier 6 heavy tank. The Minuteman has also been shut down, so there's 3 tanks left on the enemy team. One is spotted at C9, and we don't know where the other 2 are. I'm assuming the other 2 are possibly either towards the hill, again, up there, or they're somewhere around this town area, and they just haven't come out, or towards my island, one of the 2. So we're just going to keep ourselves moving and try and flank around. We've only got 12 rounds of ammunition left, which will be awkward, because that means we're not realistically going to be able to kill all 3 of them, which is a bit annoying. We actually find the heavy tank. It's a Tiger 131. Oh, we snapped the first shot because I thought, oh, maybe he's just looking towards where my team is. But actually, this Tiger 131 is AFK, so we're just going to farm away, try and set the engine. You can see we hit the engine there, right there. I'm trying to get the fire so it's not to waste the ammo, but it doesn't happen. Oh, we don't quite get the roll we need to kill him either, so we have to waste an extra shot. And we've only got 4 shells left in this tank. We're up to 5,003 damage, 303 assistance, 4 kills. There's a heavy tank spotted down at HJ0, and there's a TD that we know was spotted on the hill. So we're just going to move towards the hill because, again, we want to help our friends. The TD actually gets spotted. It's a Sturmpanzer that's full health. That could be awkward. And you can see I'm making sure that this shot is going to be aimed in because we do not have the ammunition for a miss. So we get 1 shot in, 2 shots in, and that ricochets. We shouldn't have taken that shot there because we just don't have the ammo for it. The Tiger 131 does get shut down by the SU-100M1 though, which means that we can now just go and help our heavy tanks against this Sturmpanzer. And my thought is, if I get to this corner, I'm full sending the corner. And the reason for that is that I can't afford him to delete one of these 2 heavy tanks. I just can't afford it. Because I don't have the ammunition to kill the Sturmpanzer. And unfortunately, the Sturmpanzer actually one-shots... Well, he finishes off the 45 TP for 400 on health. And it's like, yeah, I've got to turn this guy around. I've got to give the KV-2 all the best chance. Because if he decides to kill the KV-2 and not me, well, yeah, we're screwed. So he does end up starting to turn around to try and get me. And the KV-2 manages to pen him in the side and finish him off, as we did pen our last round as well. And we finished the game with the victory. 4 kills, 5.4 thousand damage, 303 assistance. Ace Tanker Pascucci's High Caliber Confederate. For 2,728 base XP, another absolutely amazing game in the Cromwell B, in a Tier 7 lobby. Honestly, the Cromwell is a fantastic tank. The Cromwell B and the Cromwell Knight you can't go wrong with for fun premium tanks, honestly, because the Cromwell is a pretty fun tank for this run-and-gun type of playstyle. So as always, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success.